skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Legal Services of Greater Miami presents the 11th Annual Heart of Giving Celebration. Hosted by Lori Jennings, Monica Vigas-Pitan, and Manuel Dobrinsky. Celebrating the Honorable Mary Jo Francis, Carl Philippe Just, and the Honorable Bronwyn Miller. This event is brought to you by J.P. Morgan and Ryder Systems. With you now is your host, Lori Jennings.
Welcome to the 11th Annual Heart of Giving Celebration. We are so glad you can join us. I'm Lori Jennings, your host, and I'm excited to be here this evening as we stream this year's event virtually for the very first time. For more than 50 years, Legal Services of Greater Miami has been a powerful advocate for equal justice in our community. Their attorneys protect and defend the rights of the low-income community when they are facing legal barriers to their economic stability. Equal justice and access to legal representation is often understood to be both an abstract and noble intention. However, for those we serve, equal justice translates into access to safe and stable housing, health care, vital government assistance, and education, all basic essentials for personal safety and well-being. The need is even greater now in 2020 as we see more people affected by the crisis who need help to ensure both safety and stability for their families. Legal Services has remained a constant resource in the community these past 50 years, in good times and bad, and will continue to do so now. This evening, we are honoring three incredible people who've dedicated much of their lives to ensuring equal access to justice and opportunity. We're also going to hear more about Legal Services' recent advocacy efforts in response to the growing and evolving crisis we are facing right now, and the importance of your support to build a community of equal justice for all. Joining me this evening is Legal Services Board Chairperson Manny Dobrinsky and Executive Director Monica Vigas-Pitan. Over to you, Manny and Monica.
Lori, thank you for that great introduction. For 10 years, we were able to meet together to celebrate our distinguished honorees and celebrate the successes and impact of legal services advocacy, thanks to the support of our donors. This year, we simply could not pass up the opportunity to recognize the incredible contribution of our honorees, as well as talk about the emerging needs in our own backyard and how Legal Services is responding to the crisis our community is facing. The health and financial crisis caused by COVID-19, as well as addressing many of the racial inequities that exist.
That's right, Manny. To put the numbers in context, in 2019, Legal Services helped 20,162 people, handled over 4,800 cases, and our advocacy resulted in economic impact of $9 million to our clients. Although our advocacy last year had a significant impact on our clients and the community at large, the world has changed in the last few months, and we anticipate the need and impact will be even greater in 2020. For too many people, the new normal means a loss of economic gains achieved over years of hard work. It means strategizing on how a family will pay their rent, access healthcare, or put food on the table. The pandemic has led to many legal issues you would expect during a financial crisis. However, it has also led to unique situations as well. One such example was recently featured in the local news. Let's take a look.
An update to a story now on just one station between a resident who desperately needed a home health care aid and the condo association who banned that aid from the building.
Tonight, though, all of that has changed. 7's Brian Enton has the update.
Come in.
This is the moment 73-year-old Eva Markman has been waiting for more than a month. Her home health care aid is finally allowed inside her Sunny Isles Beach condo building.
Are you happy to have your aid back?
Oh, yeah, this is very important for me.
The condo association at Winston Towers was not allowing Eva's aid to enter the building since early April because of new COVID-19 rules that say people who don't live here are not allowed inside. Eva is disabled and needs her aid to help her get dressed, cook, bathe, and use the restroom.
It just seemed ridiculous that it had to get this far.
Eva and her son hired attorney Matthew Dietz, and he filed a lawsuit against the condo board. We did a story about Eva's situation last week and tried to get in touch with the property manager, and then Sunny Isles Beach police got involved.
What happened is, after we spoke, the city of Sunny Isles Beach decided that they were going to take a more detailed look into what happened, and one of the detectives actually handled the case and asked for additional information.
The detective investigated, and Dietz says the condo was told Eva's healthcare aid must be allowed inside.
Thanks to you guys for airing this, and the attorneys that Mom hired, Matthew and Sean.
Without it being on TV, probably the city would not have reopened the investigation.
The healthcare aid was already helping Eva for 4 years and can now get back to taking care of her.
I rest easily and go about my daily life knowing that my mom is taken care of.
I'm so glad Ms. Markman is okay and we could lend a helping hand. That case is a great example of how legal advocacy can have a direct and critical impact on someone's life. But legal services is not only on the front lines for individuals. For the last 3 years, we have also provided legal assistance to financially eligible small businesses and nonprofits. Miami-Dade is largely a small business economy, and entrepreneurship is a great opportunity for individuals to lift their families into prosperity. In 2019, Legal Services provided legal assistance to more than 200 small businesses and nonprofits, which created more than 500 jobs in our local economy. During the pandemic, these small businesses, like many others, have required assistance. Since March, we have partnered with our local law firms to provide legal assistance to more than 180 businesses, many of which are minority-owned.
Thank you, Manny. Those of us who know South Florida understand that small businesses are the backbone of the economy. At the beginning of this year, Miami-Dade had its lowest unemployment rate in history, just 1.8%. 5 months later, it ballooned to 11.5%. That is higher than even during the Great Recession. Almost 3 million people have filed unemployment compensation claims since March. Legal Services has seen a growing need in this area, with more than 1,000% increase in requests for help with unemployment. In the coming months, our country and our community are preparing for a tsunami of evictions. It's expected that approximately 851,000 Florida families will face eviction in the next 4 months, as 389,000 Florida families are already behind on their mortgage payments. These numbers represent people, families, whose lives are being turned upside down. At Legal Services, they're making a difference, one family at a time. They're doing it. Legal Services is so important to our community, especially at a time like this. And now a message from Mayor Francis Suarez.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be with you. Our community is going through a difficult time, but Miami is a strong and resilient city. A great deal of our strength comes from our commitment to ensuring that our neighbors have what they need to live, including access to equal justice. When Legal Services ensures that a family gets to stay in their home, obtains unemployment compensation for a client, helps a low-income small business owner navigate the legal landscape, and overall protects our residents' legal rights, they are putting that commitment into action. Thank you, Legal Services, and this year's honorees for their years of accomplishment and ensuring justice for all. I am proud to have Legal Services as a resource for all residents of our Magic City.
Thank you, Mayor Suarez. We're so glad you're doing well. We now turn to our honorees who are being recognized for their work and ongoing dedication to ensuring access to justice. Let me tell you about the Honorable Mary Jo Francis. She began her career as a staff attorney for Legal Services of Greater Miami. She later served on the company's board of directors from 1985 to 90 and again from 97 to 99. She spent 2 years as an associate attorney at Simon & Dufresne, and then in 81, she joined the Public Defender's Office. She worked there until her judicial election in 2000. She has decades of service ensuring access to justice.
I went to law school because I wanted to work at Legal Services of Greater Miami. And my first job, the first 7 years of practice, was at Legal Services. I graduated in 1973, so this was before Marcia Seidman was an intern, if you can imagine. And we had a very different kind of office back then. You'd come in the morning, no matter how early you came. The only entrance to the office was through the waiting room. So in the waiting room, no matter how early you were there would be every seat full and every person with a nearly desperate problem that needed to be solved. So I'll give you one example of the kind of cases that came in. We had a woman who had rented a duplex in Oaxaca. She paid her deposit, she got her electric turned on. She went to get her water turned on, and they told her she could not get water turned on in her duplex unless she paid the prior tenant's bill. Now, she didn't know the prior tenant. She'd never used the prior tenant's water. And when she came to me, I thought it was a mistake, and she just got a grouchy clerk that day. So we called, and no, that was their policy. So we sued in federal court for an injunction. And we had Judge Eaton, who was absolutely wonderful. And when we came in, we were a little bit nervous. He asked us to sit down, and then he said, "Isn't this a wonderful country where a poor woman can come to a courtroom and ask a federal judge to sign an order to get her water turned on?" And it was such a wonderful moment, I think, in terms of why legal services is important, why respect for people in the court system is always, of course, important, but why it's important to have an attorney to represent you. She would have been lost without legal representation, and that was true for almost everyone that we represented back then. I believe it's incredibly important that we support Legal Services of Greater Miami. It's important because it defines who we are as a community. Just think about a world where justice goes to the highest bidder. Most of you here are lawyers, but you don't need a law school degree to understand the importance of having a lawyer by your side in court. Support for legal services is support for justice. I can't think of many things that are more important than that.
Although Mary Jo recorded her video prior to the pandemic, her earnest words still ring true today. Carl Philippe Just is one of the founders of Iris Photo Collective in 1998. It's a collaboration to create a new context in order to explore and document the relationship of people of color to the world. Just also founded IPC Visual Lab, a new school of thought teaching the art of photojournalism as a visual language. Not only does his art highlight social justice and equity issues, it demonstrates the beauty of caring for our neighbors. His art also supports the mission of nonprofits working to make our community a better place.
My work is about connection, and I strive to make sure that my work speaks to the power of truth. But the main purpose of the work is to serve. To serve in terms of establishing a true identity of my subjects, a sense of justice for my subjects, a sense of empowerment for my subjects. The scale of justice should be balanced. And we all know that is a goal. And I think legal services allow that goal to become reality. Everybody has the right to legal representation, good legal representation, regardless of color, race, or economic status. That, to me, is the foundation of our Constitution, because all men and women are created equal. I think legal services assures that.
And Carl is actually collaborating right now with Legal Services on some new projects coming up soon, so stay tuned. The Honorable Bronwyn C. Miller began her legal career in 1997 as an assistant state attorney in the Miami State Attorney's Office. In 2005, she became a judge on the Miami-Dade County Court, and Miller served in this capacity until her appointment to the 11th Circuit Court in 2010. She was a judge on the 11th Circuit from 2010 to 2019, and she's dedicated her career to ensuring access to justice while also being a devoted supporter of not only legal services, but so many nonprofits serving many of our most vulnerable neighbors.
Legal Services of Greater Miami has an incredible mission statement. They are dedicated to ensuring that there's equal access to the courts for all, regardless of economic advantage or disadvantage. Legal Services' mission includes affordable housing, making sure that rights are observed in our county and circuit courts, and making sure that people have adequate access to the procedural aspects of the court system, along with the substantive aspects of the court system. They ensure that individuals are equally treated in the eyes of the court. Personally, I support Legal Services of Greater Miami because on a personal level, having served on the trial court bench for nearly 14 years and now serving on the appellate bench, I witnessed firsthand some inequities that can occur when individuals are not procedurally competent in the rules of law and the incorporation of courtroom procedure. The law requires judges to treat all litigants the same, whether they're represented or not represented. So unfortunately, if an individual is not fully apprised of the procedural aspects of the court system, travesties can emerge. And I witnessed some of those firsthand serving on the trial bench. I could not intervene in a way that would make me an advocate because I was required to be a neutral arbiter. I knew the outcome would be very different if there was competent representation in a number of cases. Conversely, in those cases where Legal Services attorneys came before me, I always felt assured that the individual they represented would receive highly competent representation, as the Legal Services attorneys are some of the best in Miami. And I knew my job would be a lot easier as a judge because there would be a fair fight between the two sides. And that's all we expect in our court system. So Legal Services serves an extraordinarily important function in our community to ensuring that individuals have equal access to the courts.
We want to thank all of our 3 honorees for their years of dedication, hard work, service to others, and their support of Legal Services' mission to ensure that we deliver on the promise of opportunity and equal justice for all members of the community. Fulfillment of the mission requires dedicated partners and supporters. And speaking of, we also have a few words we would like to share from one of our title sponsors, JP Morgan Chase.
Hi, my name is Billy Krause, and I'm the Regional Director of JP Morgan Securities. Here at JP Morgan Chase, we have a long tradition of helping our local communities. It is vital for us to use our resources, our intellect, and our capacity to be able to support such organizations like Legal Services of Greater Miami-Dade. It's part of our 4 pillars to give back. I'm extremely proud that we're able to partner with Legal Services of Greater Miami-Dade, our corporate responsibility group, the JP Morgan Foundation, and our Office of Nonprofit Engagement to support the communities in need in our beloved hometown. These people are doing God's work, and through our collaboration and our resources, we're able to help in one capacity or another. Unfortunately, this year we're not able to gather in person, but we know that virtually each one of us has a large amount of love, support, and caring for our community, and we're able to enjoy this moment thanks to Legal Services. I want to thank you so much for joining today virtually. There are so many people out there in need. We are fortunate enough to pull out our laptops, pull out our tablets, join this virtual gathering. There's a lot of people who don't have roofs over their head, face eviction, are having trouble with immigration, and are in need. Please do anything you can to support this great cause. JP Morgan Chase is a very proud title sponsor, but we need more community resolve, we need more participation, and we need more awareness. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so proud to call you community members, so proud to call you colleagues, and I'm so proud to call you part of Miami-Dade County.
Thank you, JP Morgan Chase, for those kind words and for that wonderful message. We also have a message from our title sponsor, Ryder. Let's check it out.
I've been a board member for over 10 years, and I have also volunteered at the Small Claims Clinic. I've also contributed financially, as has my company Ryder, and the attorneys at Ryder have also contributed time volunteering at the small claims clinic. And the value for us is that Legal Services is committed to supporting and building the community. And that aligns with the values of Ryder and Ryder's culture, which has always been to build our communities and provide social, financial, and other support where needed. And personally, I've always been an advocate at heart and a lawyer by profession, and to have the opportunity to use those skills to support the community and a organization like Legal Services is very meaningful to me and satisfying. And I'm beyond impressed with what I've seen from Legal Services over the last 10 years. I tell you, every year I'm more and more surprised. Not only does the whole staff and all of the attorneys strive to give the best service, but every year it's continual improvement.
Thank you, Ryder and JP Morgan Chase, our title sponsors this evening. And now, get ready, get your champagne ready to toast our international recording artist and close friend, Nicole Henry. This is a treat.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Henry, and I want to start by saying thank you so much to Legal Services of Greater Miami for your 54 years of service. I can't imagine where our community would be without you, without your care, and without your diligence. I am so appreciative of your work, not only because you fight for equality and for justice, particularly for our vulnerable neighbors, but also because my beloved Aunt Karen used to be the VP of Legal Services Corporation in Washington, D.C. for years. So I am truly delighted to be here tonight and join my friend Lori Jennings to be here to celebrate your 2020 Equal Justice awardees. The Honorable Bronwyn C. Miller, the Honorable Mary Jo Francis, and our photojournalist, Carl Just. Congratulations to you all. This next song is dedicated to you for your kindness, your concern, and for your humanity. Thank you again.
In trouble and you need a helping hand, and nothing's going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest nights. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there, yeah. 'Cause you got a friend, you've got a friend, yes. And if the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking upon your door. Yes, you just call up my name, and you know winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there, yeah. Oh, ain't it good to know that you've got friends? 'Cause people can be so cold. They'll hurt you and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh no, don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. Oh yes, I will see you again. Don't you know that winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yeah, yeah. 'Cause you've got a friend. You've got a friend, yes. You've got a friend. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Oh yeah, you've got a friend.
Nicole, you wow us every time, and you're doing so much for the community right now. Thank you. And now, Lily Ann Sanchez from LS Law Firm, a woman who has basically made this event happen for the last decade. Lily Ann.
My name is Lily Ann Sanchez, and I am co-chair of the Legal Services of Greater Miami Campaign Committee, along with Willie Ferrer and Jason Kellogg. I have also been the chair of this event for almost 10 years, so it is very near and dear to my heart. I want to start by thanking all of our sponsors who year after year support legal services. We could not have our tremendous impact on this community without your continuous and generous support. This year, 2020, is and will be historic. This worldwide pandemic will have life-altering consequences that will transcend anything we can imagine today. However, its impact was felt almost immediately with a complete shutdown of the country, and really of the entire world, as we have never experienced before. At home, our community lost their jobs, their benefits, their ability to pay for their homes, food, utilities, and the need for legal services we provide increased. Our staff has continued to work nonstop to provide services and assist those most impacted in our community. After all, many of us, although also feeling the effects, are blessed to be able to weather the storm and not worry about our daily essential needs. We have pivoted and adapted, and it is now more imperative than ever to give back to those in need. One of my tenets is, to one much is given, much is required. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart and ask for your continued support and generosity. I promise that your generosity will be repaid tenfold. I hope all watching are healthy, counting their blessings, and enjoying this priceless time with their families. And as I say, Groundhog Day 165, I'm sending you all a virtual hug and a Cuban kiss.
We would like to take a moment of thanks to our Blue Diamond sponsors, Holland & Knight and Stearns Weaver Miller.
We also want to thank our platinum sponsor, one of your firm, Dolan Dobrinsky Rosenblum Bluestein, as well as Ernst & Young and McCluskey McDonald Hughes PA.
We're all living through unprecedented times, and for many of us, our economic futures seem unstable. So you can imagine how those who live paycheck to paycheck are feeling, struggling to feed their families, to keep a roof over their heads. They need us now more than ever, and we need you there with us. Tonight, we are asking you to consider making a donation to further our programs. Gifts benefit our work with employment assistance, housing, tenant rights, healthcare, government assistance, and more. We are on the front line supporting our neighbors, protecting those who are the most vulnerable in our society. join us. Please make a gift by clicking the button below or by visiting legalservicesmiami.org. Your gift, large or small, makes a difference. Difficult times test us all, but with your help, we are here for our community to ensure that those who are in dire need are supported and protected.
I also want to thank our team. They have adapted and responded to our community's emerging needs. Their passion is unparalleled as they go above and beyond to bring justice forward. In recent weeks, there has been even more coverage of our work in the community.
A whole lot of people facing more uncertainty tomorrow when the state's moratorium on evictions ends. We're speaking with one woman whose landlord already tried to kick her out. Local 10 investigator Amy Viteri is live with what could happen to her next. Amy.
Well, Christy, so many groups have been calling on the governor to extend that moratorium on evictions because of the recent spike in cases and how many families are still facing so much uncertainty. We did reach out to the governor's office today, but so far no word back. And as it currently stands, that moratorium will expire by tomorrow.
She stuck this one on the door on May 8th.
Adele Penny got this notice to get out of her Hialeah rental home in May, despite an official freeze on evictions for non-payment during the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's like life and death. You're going to kick me out, me and my family out on the streets because you can't get a couple $100?
Penny says her daughters had been helping her make ends meet before the pandemic. She had agreed with her landlord to move out by March, but then came COVID. Both daughters lost their jobs and Penny has been unable to find one.
I had an interview at Miami Airport. And of course, that was canceled.
From there, they found themselves in their current situation whereby they were unemployed with no means of actually paying the rent due to no fault of their own.
Attorney Gerby Noel represents Penny and got her case dismissed. That's because since March, non-payment eviction cases are suspended under this executive order issued by Governor Ron DeSantis. The governor extended that last month, but it's now set to expire by Wednesday. Unfortunately, for many renters like Penny, the situation has not improved.
I don't know where my fate is. What's next for me? What do I do now?
As cases continue to climb, Noel predicts so will the number of people out of work, now potentially without any protection to keep them in their homes.
There are many landlords out there that are waiting in the wings to file their evictions. And, all things point to there being an avalanche of eviction cases for non-payment.
We are proud of our staff, but we cannot do this alone. Like Manny said, we need your continued support. A financial gift supports our mission every day. That is one of several ways to get involved. We also need your time and expertise. Due to the crisis, we have opened multiple pro bono clinics. Please visit our website to get more details and an opportunity to engage with us. Your unwavering commitment to our community is critical. None of this would be possible without you.
We are full of gratitude and hope this evening at our first ever virtual Heart of Giving celebration. There is much work to do. Access to justice is critical, especially during a crisis. And we learned tonight the direct impact it can have to keep families in their homes and ensure that they have the basic essentials to keep them safe. Your support makes all the difference. For those of you who already support legal services, thank you so much. And we hope that you will continue to do so during these really challenging times. And for those of you who have not yet made your first contribution, please consider doing so tonight. Every dollar helps ensure safety and stability for our neighbors at this time of need. On behalf of the entire team at Legal Services of Greater Miami, we thank you. Stay well and good night.